All right. Okay, so today we're going to work on the hat first, and then we'll move on to the rest. I have here burnt umber, yellow ochre, and white. Could use a round brush or a flat, whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay. All right. Let's start with mixing burnt umber and yellow ochre. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my round brush. That's, I think, easier.
It's pretty small.
And I'm going to start with the inside, where the hat, the rim of the hat turns.
If we're just working on the hat, could you zoom in on that part of the painting?
Of course, yes. Yes, good idea. Yes, I'll do that right now.
It's fairly dark though, right?
So that's much better. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Yes, it's fairly dark, so I'm using more of the burnt umber than the yellow ochre.
Okay.
Okay, this is good. So this part is really dark, and we will highlight it later on. Then now, because we've done this, I'm going to add more of the yellow ochre at this point, a bit of burnt umber, but more yellow ochre. And I can see we don't need a very dark color, so I'm going to add a little bit of white. A little bit of white. And then I'm going to start here, kind of adding this color on top. Let's take a bit of burnt umber, put it in. I'll tell you why, because it doesn't have to be very dark, but because eventually what we're going to do is create, when we're highlighting, create a bit of texture, a little bit of texture, not much. That's why I always like to start with dark color. Let's do the outside also.
Oops. Uh-oh.
What happened?
I just painted the sand and I thought, okay, I'm going to work on the horizon. And I picked it up and put my finger right in the way.
Oh,
God.
That's
well,
all right.
I'll
That's
just
okay.
let it dry for a minute.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, just let it dry.
Get your hair dryer up. Yeah, I'm too lazy to do that. I have an old one sitting under the table there. Please. I'll just, while it's drying, I'll look at it and see. I'll put myself on mute, so I'm not.
Right. There we go. So I have a good color right now, and I will be highlighting soon. So I'm going to let it dry. I'm going to stop for a minute so you can get to this point.
Perfect.
Right, so we're going to, while the hat is drying, we're going to work on the sand part. And for the sand part, I'm going to use the same colors, but no burnt umber. It's yellow ochre and white. And I'm making it more into a glaze, not too thick. And I'm going to go over certain areas here. And just kind of, with a round brush or a flat brush, it doesn't matter. Just kind of give it a bit of movement, bit of highlight. And you don't want to cover the whole thing. You'll see in a minute. Once we start adding the foam, the big part, like the heavy part of the foam. Yeah, I guess flat brush is better. I'm not going to do the whole thing because I just want to put a bit of highlights where the it's close to the shore or to the sand part. Just to give it that variety of values in there and color, so it's not flat. It doesn't look like it's flat. It looks like moving water over sand. This is titanium buff, so I'm not using titanium buff. I'm using white with yellow ochre. And I don't want it to be too strong, not to cover completely. Okay, this is good. This is a good color. You know, when you use glaze, it's much better because it's not heavy. So when it dries, the color underneath will show through, and it will not cover completely. It's good. Okay, let's do here. Same. And also, while I'm doing this, what I'm going to do is add her shadow, because I do have brown here. I have burnt umber. Now, it's better usually to use purple with yellow ochre, but you don't have to. And I'm just mixing burnt umber and yellow ochre together because I don't want it to be too dark. Usually when you are working with a yellow surface, when you want to put a color over it or a dark shadow, you use purple. You mix it with the yellow that you're using, and you put some white in it, a bit of white, and you're fine. But we really don't have to do this right now. What we could do is just mix these two colors, burnt umber and yellow ochre and make it more, let's say it's from here, more like transparent. Burnt umber, yellow ochre, and water. Okay. I don't know what happened here. Okay. This will make more sense once we put the skin tone. Right now it looks like a heavy paint sitting there. Would you like some time?
You said umber and yellow ochre, right?
Pardon, which one? This one?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
burnt umber, yellow ochre, and white, and water. No white, water.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just starting.
Yeah. Do you need some time?
No, just a couple of minutes.
Sure.
If you guys don't mind.
Yeah, no problem. While we're doing this, put a bit of dark shadow underneath her foot here, right there, because we have the color. Okay. All right, she's good there. All right, I'm gonna pause for a minute. Okay, now for the scent, for the waves part, we're going to use white and ultramarine violet. This is really kind of very, very purple, bluish purple. Take a little bit of burnt umber to tone it down and make it more, or yellow ochre, and make it more earthy, because it's not that purple in there, because this is just ultramarine violet, right, mixed with white. Take a bit of yellow ochre there. That just tones it down. So now I'm going to start from, I guess the furthest one is where her here. Let's not go too high up, but there's no need. And with a round brush or a flat brush, just kind of spread this.
And is this a wash we're adding water?
Kind of a wash, not too much, because you want it to be, you don't want it to blend too much with the background, because we're going to keep on adding then, paint if it does. So just kind of, and we will add more white, and I'll show you in a minute how we're going to do this. If it's not flowy and you find that it's too heavy, just put more water so it flows better. And then you see in certain areas it's not that thick. right? So it's like some areas it's thick and some areas it's like more transparent. So when it's more transparent, if you see it more transparent, add a bit of more water. No. And now we're going to do a little bit more here. Doesn't have to be exactly the same what you see in the reference.
Take a look at this post from the Umber.
I'll do this part and then I stop. I'm going to stop and then we'll continue the other side. Again, just a couple here. Thinner right here. Not as much. And you see in the back ones are thinner, kind of faint, not heavy, not strong. Okay, it's good. All right, I'm going to stop for now, and then we'll do the other side. All right, so now we're doing the right-hand side, and I am going to do the same thing I did there. Same mixture. Ultramarine Violet, a bit of yellow ochre, lots of white, and water. And we're going to do the same thing we did. It's what I have with me right now is a flat brush, and I'm just spreading the colors. Should be kind of flowy. So when you spread the color, it just flows. It doesn't feel like it feels like watercolor. Okay, now a little bit here and there in the back corner of the brush, so it doesn't look like it just kind of cuts off with nothing. And then we're gonna come here. I'm improvising a bit here. Okay, now I'm going to add same. Let's do this. Let's do kind of and one that comes from here, this part of the dress kind of, and we're going to push the color down. Okay, now I'm going to take more white. I'll wait for you to get to this because you know we're going to add more white now, so I'm not going to do it right now. I'll wait. I'm going to pause. All right, let's now same colors. If you have some left over, that's good. Add more white. That's good. We don't need, it doesn't have to be pure white. So just adding more white and not a lot of water, but enough water for it to, for the brush to move easily on the canvas. That will be enough. It'll be fine. Because you see, see how this is not pure water, pure white. This has a bit of the yellow ochre, ultramarine, violet and white in here. The first layer I used, I added over it some white. So it looks fine. And we're not going to use all of this white everywhere. It's going to be certain areas. Because you want to see keep some of this thin layer that we put first. You want to see it. You don't want to cover it completely. It's going to dry darker, which is great. Now here, this is like a foam right here. So I'm painting it a little bit more, kind of a paint. Paintbrush kind of movement. That's more like a rounded, not flat. Let's take a small brush, round brush, take some of this white with a smaller brush and add more of this whitish color, light color. If you find that the white is turning out to be too strong, add more of the original color that we started with. The combination of yellow ochre and ultramarine violet and white. This part I'm doing right now, it does have more white in it, in here, in this darker, in this one, first layer. It has a little bit more white in it, but it's not 100% white. Okay, good. We're getting, because you want that transparency still. You don't want it to look flat. Perfect. All right. Let's do the other side. Let's try to we're going to let this dry here, and we're going to move on to the other side. This side doesn't have a lot of white in here, like whitish. but we do still have to put some kind of a movement in here. Improvise your waves. Just, they don't have to be exactly the same. Some areas of when you're highlighting the waves, some areas are going to be stronger, lighter than other areas. So if I am doing this, if I'm highlighting this area here, I'm not going to highlight the whole thing. I will highlight part of it, and other parts will be kind of darker. Okay. All I'm doing right now is taking more white into the same color, using a smaller brush, round brush. I'm using a round brush. And I'm going to enhance parts, enhance the kind of put more highlights, parts on some of these waves. That's white mixed again with a bit of the other color. So it's not pure, but it's white enough. Okay, again, on this side, we're not going to do a lot, just that would be more than enough. This enough white in here, and a little bit here. I mean, in the reference, you see if you look at the reference carefully, you see that the right-hand side has less of those the white movement or the white waves or foam, but it looks unbalanced. So that's why I'm adding a little bit more on this side. Okay. Now one more thing we're going to do, and that's it. I'm going to take Ultramarine Violet. I'm going to mix it with, actually I keep, you see, yeah, that's good, yeah. Ultramarine Violet, a little bit of the burnt umber, water, round brush. I'm going to come here. That just gives volume, pushes it's just this is the shadow of this wave. So that means that this foam is high. That's why it's creating a shadow underneath. Let's put a bit here. Now let's do the other side. Let's do this side.
That's just ultramarine violet.
Ultramarine violet with a bit of burnt umber and water,
Okay.
so it's not heavy.
Water.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just makes these waves more like a 3D instead of flat. Some areas are thicker than other areas, and not many of them. That's more than enough. Okay, we're done. We're good. I'm gonna pause. Okay, we're done for this week. So we did finish the working on the waves in the background and her shadow and the first layer of the hat. Next week we will work on the hat and the girl.